Stay out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be showing you how to animate a building, and by this I mean using command blocks to make it appear like they are moving. So if I press this button, you can see this proof of concept, how we can make it simple. You build a series of frames, and then you use command blocks to paste them in one another. It really looks like it is moving, and it's very, very effective. But you can do more than just an elevator. You can do practically anything. For another example, here is a fire animation just made with stained glass. And it's just beautiful. You can make anything you want. You can make a man walking, anything. As you can see, all of the frames are laid out like this, accompanied by a command block, and how it is done. I will go into more detail now. So here we have all the frames laid out on the floor. They are, of course, empty right now, and the first thing that we're going to do is build the animation. This is probably the easy bit and the hard bit, depending on what you want to do. So, for example, I'm going to make a very simple wobble monster, and a wobble monster is simply a cobblestone pillar that flops side to side in an animation. So essentially all we have to do is build each frame of the animation. So in every square I've just edited the cobblestone pillar to move ever so slightly using slab and stairs every time we go along, so that when played one after the other it's going to appear like it's moving. Now it seems very simple, and I'm doing a very simple animation, and with the help of WorldEdit you can copy paste it over, make your edit, and continue so on and so forth until you have a large set of frames like I have here. And this is essentially it. This is the entire animation. Now the cobblestone pillar is nothing without a face, so I just go and add a sign for the face of the wobble monster. But as you can see, these are all the frames, and if you just look from one frame to the next, you can tell how this is going to move. And all we're going to need to do now, and this is probably the hardest part to explain, is the command blocking. So you just place the command block right next to each single frame. And we need to make a very specific command, which I'm going to break down into its core components. There are 4 parts of the command block, and do bear with me. I will explain the command first, and then put it into practice so you understand what I mean. There are 4 parts. The first bit is /clone. That bit's easy. Then you have XYZ, XYZ, and another XYZ. And obviously those X, Ys, and Zs all represent a number, more specifically, the direction of the coordinate you need to go in. Okay, so the first XYZ represents the block that we want to select with the command block to highlight the area that we want to clone. The second XYZ is the second block that we want to clone. So imagine a virtual space highlighted by 2 points. That cuboid is the area we are highlighting to clone. Finally, the third XYZ is quite simply the place where we want to paste that clone. So that will remain the same number throughout each command block, as will everything else. In fact, the way we're setting out our command block is relative to the build, meaning that every single command block will be the same, and this actually saves quite a lot of time, because you could either paste the same one in or use WorldEdit just to simply stack the command block forward. Right, now let's put it into practice. So the first thing we need to do is /clone and just put that straight into the command block. That's probably the easiest part. Now we need to tell the command block which 2 points we need to select to highlight the area which we're going to clone. The first set of XYZ is this first gold block that I've placed there. The second set is going to be this second gold block, and you can visualize that cuboid space where the wobble monster is, and that is the area we're going to highlight. So we now need to tell the command block relative block where the gold blocks are. So using WorldEdit, I'm just measuring along the first X coordinate, and in the direction there, positive X is where it is. So I then do tandem 8, which was the amount of as was calculated by the WorldEdit. And you can see that is how far it is to the gold block. So the tandem is just that little squiggly line, and now we need to do exactly the same thing for the coordinate, which is obviously above you, so that is 6. Finally, we need to tell it where it is on the Z coordinate. So again, I'm using world edit to calculate how far along that is, which is 9 blocks, so it's then space tandem 9. So we've now told the command block to select that particular gold block as our first point. We now need to tell it the second gold block where that is. So in a similar way, we are telling it that is just one block to the right of it and underneath. So because there's no positive x coordinate, we just put a single tandem as there's no place for it to go. And upwards, instead of going up, we are going down one block. So we need to do tandem minus 1. That way we're telling it to go negatively into the ground one block to go to the gold block there. And then finally, we need to tell it to go to the positive z coordinate. And you can see these coordinates by pressing F3 to bring that information up. And we do tandem 1. We have now selected those 2 points as our coordinates. It now understands relative to that command block where it's going to go. The final set, as I said when I explained the command, is where we're going to paste it. So I just want to paste it here where I placed the command block, and it's going to paste it towards positive x